Good morning, students. Welcome back to English class. Hope everyone is doing fine. So, yesterday we discussed about Anne's deciding factor of she writing a diary. She was having a very lovable family and friends to whom she can confide, but doubts her trustworthiness, yearns to have a real friend, and tries to find solace in her diary. And she names it Kitty. So let's see what happens. On June 20th, 1942, she starts writing her diary, addressing it as her friend, dearest Kitty. It is about an incident of her entire class who were nervous about the results. It is unpredictable as the teachers decide the students to be moved to next class or to be kept back. Many students were making bets with their summer savings at stake. She and her friend G could make fun of those nervous boys. They used to say, "I'm not going to pass," but the other students in the class could assure that they would too, which her friend G would be polite, but Anne used to scold them. According to Anne, about a quarter of class should not be allowed to pass because they hardly respond to take part in any of the activities, like you people. Not all, only few. Okay, just joking. She referred to them as dummies, but this may not be the case because teachers' decision can't be predicted. Annie says that she is not bothered about her friends because she is sure that she will pass. The only subject she is unsure about is mathematics. She seems to be having a tough time with the subject, but all they could do was to wait for the results and not lose hope. She tells how she has a great relationship with all her teachers except the math professor. He was constantly irritated by the author's or Annie's talkativeness. Despite several warnings, Annie did not stop talking in his classes, which prompted him to give her extra homework as punishment. And the first one is to write an essay on chatterbox. I hope you know what's the meaning of chatterbox. Chatterbox means a person who is continuously talking, which she thought was a weird topic to write on. Because what could one write about that? Yes, isn't it? What can we write about chatterbox? For the moment, she wrote the topic in her notebook, kept it in her bag, and focused on staying quiet. Annie comes across the note she made as a reminder for the essay. After that, she had finished the rest of her homework. She began thinking about the topic. Anyone, just for the sake of filling pages, would mention some random stuff, but she wanted to present concrete arguments in support of talking. Like she wants to tell that there is nothing wrong in talking. What is wrong in talking in the class? So she wants to give such an essay where she wants to argue that talking is good, not bad. She mentioned that she will try to better herself as a student, but talking is something that cannot be eliminated completely. And she feels that a student is there to talk, and she feels that if she wants to change, she will change as a good student, but she will not stop talking in the class. This is because she got it as an inherited trait from her mother, and that is how she ended up writing 3 pages on the topic. She feels that that was an inherited trait. Inherited trait means which you get it from your parents. It may be like sometimes it may be a hair, or it might sometimes be like a good quality, kindness, or anything which your father has. You might get it. That is called as an inherited trait. So here she feels that she got this trait of talking from her mother. The professor found Anne's arguments to be amusing, but when she did not stop talking in the next lesson also, he gave her yet another assignment as punishment. The topic, an incorrigible chatterbox. I hope you know what's the meaning of incorrigible. Incorrigible means something that cannot be changed or corrected, usually a bad habit or quality. And I told chatterbox who talks continuously is called as a chatterbox. He gave her this topic because he was annoyed of her unstoppable chattering during his lessons. On receiving this assignment also, the professor does not respond but hands her another punishment on the topic, quack, 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 Mistress Chatterbox. So she very nicely wrote that also, an incorrigible chatterbox, and she submits to him. He doesn't respond to that essay, but he gives another punishment to her and he asks her to write quack, 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 Mistress Chatterbox. So, any one of you is interested in writing these essays? Anyway, you children don't talk now when teacher is explaining, and that's why we don't get a chance to give such kind of punishment. Am I right? Okay. When the professor scolded her for the third time and punished her, the whole class started laughing. As a result, she had to pretend to be amused too. After writing twice on similar topics, she ran out of thoughts. Now she had no more ideas or thoughts in her mind to write about this chatterbox. Thus, her friend Sane, who was good at poetry, offered to help her write in rhyme. This whole assignment scenario was to make Anne feel ashamed, but she made sure that she gave an effective reply. She was feeling that her math teacher, Mr. Keesing, was giving her that assignment only just to make her feel ashamed before all the other students, as she was continuously talking in her classes. And she thought that she felt that she should give a very effective reply to him, so that next time he doesn't give her any other punishment. She finally wrote her third assignment in the form of a poem, which turned out to be great. She wrote a satire that a father swan bit his 3 baby ducklings to death because of their noisy nature. Students, hope you understood this sentence. See, you people sometimes trouble your parents in many ways. Are they beating you, punishing you, or trying to get rid of you? No, they are not. No. Why? Because it is their responsibility and they love you. Yes, and they are trying to bring you up in a right manner. Now, what may come and go? So here in this poem, the father swan is fed up with the baby ducklings who are continuously cackling. So he bites them. Means he was really irritated with that noise. So here she wants the professor, her math professor, Mr. Keesing, to understand her feeling that they were teenagers and they should understand or ignore her chattering, because it's a common tendency for children to talk in the class. She felt that her professor should ignore her flaw which she had of talking. To her good luck, the professor took it lightly and recited the entire poem in front of the class, giving his remarks simultaneously. He was commenting also. He was reading the poem and he was also commenting. Anne was very fortunate because after this incident, though she was talking uninterruptedly, she was not given any homework as punishment. So a good thing happened. She's lucky. She continued talking. She did not stop. Why? Maybe she continued stopping, but what did Mr. Keesing do? He got fed up and he stopped giving her any homework as punishment. Also, Mr. Keesing started cracking jokes every now and then in front of the class. So, at last, the teacher had to change because of the child. Yes. So, students, hope you understood the lesson clearly. Can you guess the moral of the story? Okay. Power of hope in any troublesome situation or circumstance. So we need to have a hope that everything will happen for our good. Students, Anne's diary gives us insights into what life was like Jews who were in hiding. Yes, children, please note down the homework. Do write oral comprehension check question answers of page 44. That's all for today's class. Thank you.